God bless the flag, we all beating our chests. When it's peace, it's the same old game, the same old players, same old names. Right. My skin is my sin. My skin is my sin.
What's good, fam? How's everybody doing? What's going on, AJ? Nothing, I take it.
Okay, I thought that you was going to, give you, you can tell we're a little rusty. It's been a week. I thought you was going to give them your normal introduction, let them know who we're listening to, and go from there.
Oh, my bad. In case you are unaware, you are tuning in to My Skin is My Sin on Blog Talk Radio. From goons to guys, we welcome everyone. You know, we only have one rule, and that's be respectful. So salute to y'all.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's been off for a little week, you know. I had to go chill with my family, you know, my kids. And, you know, so that was dope.
Nothing wrong with that.
Definitely enjoyed being home, man. Unlike home.
Yeah, man. So, okay, I mean, how was it? You know what I mean? How was the atmosphere as far as being back in the city, you know?
Oh man, it was dope, man. You know, Mom's is getting a little older there, man, and it's tough watching a parent get older. It really is, and she's so hard headed, man. It's just ridiculous. You know, apparently that skipped my generation, but love moms, man. But she just, you know, it does not matter. She gonna do what she gonna do, you know. That has served her well over the years, but you know, sometimes she's getting a little better at it, man. But it's tough to kind of see your parents, you know, get a little older, man, and see what they go through.
I know about that all too well. Special, well, you know, deal with my pops or whatever. I totally know all about it. Like this, oh my gosh, this fool still think he can drive or whatever. Like, look, we don't need you running to no mailboxes today. You know, just sit here and chill, relax. You know what I'm saying? Move. I made you. Get out the way. I brought you in.
Oh man, it's crazy too, man. My stepfather don't drive a lick, and my mom's like refuses to get on any freeway.
Oh, okay.
You know, so that's it. Oh man, and like sometimes this time I got a little lazy and just caught the bus up there. So that means if I want to go anywhere, I got to use my mom's car. And I swear, man, it's like the first time I drove. Every time I drive her car, the same speech.
Right. Yeah, you
don't hit no potholes,
baby. Don't be making no hard left turns, baby. You know, that's my.
Oh, you put your seatbelt on, the whole nine. Like, okay. You know what? Sometimes I just feel like taking that ticket just to say, you know what, I got this. I can actually pay the ticket. But man, it's been a crazy week too, man.
Oh yeah, shout out to our third co-host Sean. He cannot be with us tonight. Basically he has other obligations. So shout out to him, salute to him. And
salute.
And so what we talking about tonight, man? You know, let's hop into it. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it.
All right, no doubt. Oh, and before we do that, I want to let y'all know that we do have the chat room open and jumping. And salute to Gian Holt for being in the chat room. We also got the event page. You know, I try to tag as many people as possible. Oh, it was somebody I forgot to tag. They wanted me to tag them. I can't remember their name though. So my bad if it was you. Today's topic, though, is what role, if any, can white people play in our struggle?
Okay.
Yeah. You know, interesting topic. You know, and I posted a couple, you know, I try to post a little bit, you know, get people's input. on the topic prior to the show, and I'd say thus far, probably 80% have said yeah, in some way, shape, or form, and the other 20 have been staunch in their declination of any white assistance.
Interesting. Hopefully, we can have callers call in and basically speak from both angles, because I mean it's kind of boring when everything is so one-sided. When we have people that can speak from, from a different perspective, bring us to a different light, it would definitely make for interesting. I won't call it a debate because it's about us. So we're not debating with each other. We're just giving our philosophies and outlooks on things. So yeah, please, if you're listening, call up and let's chop this table.
I mean, I'm not opposed to the debate either, though.
I mean, of course. I mean, that is a very strong word, debate. You know what I'm saying? But it can be looked at as positive as well, because I don't know. I don't think I know how. I can debate, but I don't think I know how to. You know, not yet. As far as the way I want to. So, let's just have a conversation. You know.
You know what? I will say what I find interesting is that historically, if you're being honest, there have been white people that have helped us over the years, and without some help from some white people, our circumstances in this country at this point would definitely be totally different. I mean, if you want to take it back to the Underground Railroad and the abolitionists.
Correct.
Now, were there some people that were doing things that were self-serving? Of course. Right. That'll never go away. But were there some people that white people that have actually died trying to help us? Well, yeah, apparently there were.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did ask a question to see if anyone had heard of any white person actually being hung. And I didn't get any answers. Actually, I do believe that John Brown was hung.
John Brown?
Yeah.
Hung?
Yeah, I do believe that he was actually hung. And I did post in the event a little something about John Brown if you are unfamiliar. And if you saw the picture for the event, that's who that guy is. And what I did was it's just a little something about the history. My bad. Go ahead.
I mean, well, historically, when you look at how what they would call traitors, majority of the time they would basically either cut them off or probably just straight kill them. But how they treated us at a certain point in time in history, hanging would be like a event. To a certain extent. What I mean by event is they would bring the children there and all these other things.
Right.
So basically being killed, I understand that. But being hung, like, that is very extreme for a group of white people to do something the same. Certain white supremacists do not use the same tactics that they use on other people that they consider traitors or nigger lovers, if you want to call it, by how they would say it. They wouldn't do it to each other, but they will take you out. You dig what I'm saying?
Right. It just wouldn't be as brutal typically. But I mean, this cat was atypical as far as him trying to arrange insurrection and assisting with the escape of slaves. I mean, the whole nine.
Right.
And they literally hung his ass on December 2nd, 1859. Actually.
Oh, so they did hang him. Okay.
Yeah, they actually hung his ass because he got caught.
Oh, okay. Yeah, around that time, I was about to say, things was real. You feel what I'm saying? Like, what side are you on? You on our side or the darky side? You feel what I'm saying? It was real.
Right. So, but he's not the only person in the history of this country that, a white person has actually put their neck on the line.
Right. Yeah. All right. I'll step up and basically speak on it first. Can they help us? Definitely. Yes. Like, that is a definite yes. But I will say this. we have to, us as black people have to understand that, okay, if we're going to look at it as a system, we have to genuinely analyze these folks. You feel what I'm saying? Certain things was invented to basically stop us, like COINTELPRO and things of this nature.
Right.
If somebody wants to come, all right, I don't want to call us a losing team because we're not a losing team. But if you want to look at it from this aspect, coming from a winning team to a losing team to a system, and you're generally with it, you're basically coming from the heart.
What's your angle? Yeah. You know,
that's my
I
angle.
will
That's
say
my angle, right?
No,
I got you.
Not you. Yeah, but what's that particular person's angle? Like, what are you getting out of this? You know, definitely the vetting process should be significant. I mean, you know, as much as you can find out a person that is trying to help, you know, you definitely, especially giving the overwhelming historical, how can I put it, tendencies of white folks to play us or to do something to be counterproductive. You know, like you said, COINTELPRO, the whole nine. You know, so can they help? Yeah, I definitely agree that they can. We just have to be very diligent in who we allow. And I did see that posted quite a few times. You know, it wasn't necessarily a flat out no, but it was but you know, we got to make sure that they all about trying to actually help us as opposed to help themselves.
Right. Okay, now, all right, I will give you another example on, okay, I gave you the good side. Let me give you how things, let's talk about the feminist movement in the 60s and 70s, right? Now, females, it was talking about womanhood and how they wanted to stick together, so it really didn't matter the color or whatever. So this is when the whole ideology of women are equal. So I'm not going to say this, but they was putting it into our heads like, oh, we don't need a man and we're equal and we could do this on our own. But at the same time, these white females was going home to their white husbands. But our females took it to heart to the certain point where it's like, we can raise our own kids by ourselves. I can be the mother and the father and certain things of that nature. And these things still affect us to this day. Now, you feel what they were standing for was totally correct because they couldn't vote either. You feel as much as black people couldn't vote, females couldn't vote either. You feel what I'm saying? It was certain things that females couldn't vote as well. But the difference is once everything got stable, they still stood up for feminine rights, but they understood that a family structure would help. You feel me? But I feel as though some black females basically took it as though like they took it and ran with it. And that hurt us to this day right now. So while I don't even know if their full intentions of putting us on the same team even helped, I think it kind of hurt a little bit. I think it did a little bit of both. And it was definitely self-serving because they were not about trying to help black people. They were just trying to help get as many women on board to help their own cause. And once it became like, you know, racial issues, they didn't want to have shit to do with it. Moving on, it's all about women, you know, blase, you know, and they try to put that on it where, you know, this is a woman's struggle, has nothing to do with race, but they, you know, that was disingenuous and extremely self-serving. Yeah. And once they got the things they wanted, it was like, okay, go back to your wherever you come from, blase squeak. Yeah, because I have yet to see any feminist movement yet to stand up for some of the likes of Felicia McBride, Sandra Bland, et cetera, et cetera. You dig what I'm saying? These things, basically like you said, they did what they had to do to benefit them. So it goes both ways. So we have to understand what we're standing up for and who we're allowing to basically help us and stand up for us as far as people in general. Because I'm not saying it's impossible for anybody that's not black to help us. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is we have to screen these clients. Just because they don't look like us doesn't mean we should just open them in with open arms. You dig what I'm saying? Because how many times have we seen white supremacy just openly just invite black people? Like, hey, you want to join the KKK? Come on, let's go. You feel what I'm saying? Like, some things just don't work like that. So we have to be more aware. But one more name I do want to drop before we get to these callers. It's a dude named Sean King. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He is a writer, author, and a publisher. He's currently working for Black Lives Matter. Earlier this year, somebody put him out there to say that he was actually white. Now, if you see his picture, before you even knew that he was white or black, you would think that he was just really light-skinned, like a Steph Curry type dude. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And everything that he stands for, if you really read some of the things, like his articles and all these things that he put out there, you would think that he was a black man because he was talking about basically being racially profiled in college, all these other things. But he's not black. He's not black. Like, technically,
same thing with O'Girl.
Yeah, you feel correct. But the difference between her and I forgot her name because oh my goodness, I forgot her name. But the difference between those two is she actually sued a black college, if I'm not mistaken, a few years back. All these things came out. You dig what I'm saying? So basically, not only was she helping, but she was also benefiting. Sean King hasn't benefited anything from being who he is. Like, he's really with don't mean to cuss, but he's with the shits. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I totally stand behind and support Sean King very heavily. He interviewed a lot of people recently that black people put on the pedestal to a certain degree. So yeah.
I think he has benefited, though. I'm not going to sit up here and say that he has not benefited. I mean, just the visibility and the profile definitely garners you some privileges to a certain extent, and it gets you a lot of hate too. So I think it's been a double-edged sword. You saw what he went through, and I do have a problem with that. If in fact that is true, that it undermines, and I forget her name too. What was it, in Portland? Damn, I can't remember her name. But the chick that basically was saying that she was black and was not black, but was doing a hell of a lot for the black community. It totally, she shot herself in the foot. It was unnecessary, quite honestly. And for two, it undermines every positive thing that she did. It made it look suspicious. It made it look suspect. And it made it look like selfish, when in fact it may not have been selfish. I don't see where she, maybe in a couple of years she writes a book or does a movie or something. But at this point, I don't see where it's like gotten her rich and famous. Oh, okay. Somebody just pointed her name out. Rachel Dolezal, or something like that. I think that's it.
Dolezal, Rachel Dolezal. Yeah. I don't mean to step basically into what we're talking about, but Laquan McDonald's video has been released just now. I've been tagged to it. If you don't know who Laquan McDonald is, he was a dude from Chicago that was shot in the back by a police officer. Burger King was trying to basically delete the footage, and it just came out. I haven't watched it yet, but they showed the polygraph and where he was hit. He was almost shot 20 times.
I tagged me into that too, so I can look at that too. And rest in peace to him. And I did see something of Burger King stating saying that they actually had nothing to do with the deletion of the footage. That they had no clue that was even going to happen.
Correct. It's insane, man. It's insane. Oh man.
You know what? I'm gonna take a caller right quick too, man. And tag me to that video, man. I definitely want to be able to. I may not be able to hear it right now, but I definitely want to see it. And and you know how it is, man. The show is fluid. We start off talking about one thing and end up 2 blocks over. So, and that whole situation, man, is just, people are literally getting shot and just nothing is okay. The whole thing with, I know it's a little off topic, but the brother getting beat up at the Donald Trump event, and Donald Trump justifying that. It was like, come on, it's too much, man.
The Black Lives Matter protesters getting shot. Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But go ahead, D. Let me go get the tag in real quick. I got you. Okay.
All right, let me check this caller right quick. And this is all ones. So I'm assuming they may be international or I'm not sure, but we'll get to you. What's good, fam?
Greetings. Listen, how you guys doing today?
All right, yourself.
We're doing great.
All right, cool. Listen, I originally called to address the title of the show, but as you brothers went on to elaborate on some of the problems in the black community, and one mentioned was the black woman's participation in feminism. Now, I want to say this, because I'm so tired of correcting brothers about this dilemma right here. I'm just going to start suggesting that you all do some research, because here's what happens. And I'm going to point you in the right direction. Talking points gets us into trouble. And what do I mean when I say talking points? I'm saying that same cliche-ish sentence is what is always repeated. Now, I'm not a feminist. I don't subscribe to feminism. Neither do I subscribe to Black Power movement. And let me say this. When you talk about the black woman and you do the research, you will find that while the black woman was working under the auspices of feminism, it was for her man, and her children. And if you will check the books, you'll find that it was the black women challenged the welfare system to allow men to remain in the home. That's who got that law broken down. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you do the research, you will find that all these talking points are erroneous. No, the black woman did not move the black man out of the house. We need to go back in history and understand that some of these proclivities are with us, but we've been lying to ourselves for so long, we like to believe that they are true. Okay? During the emancipation,
that the black woman was instrumental in moving the black man out the house.
That was the next talking point. Well, let me say this. Here's what I wanted to get off of my chest. There are studies that have been done, but we never talk about that. A PhD, this black man, he's a fellow. You understand what I'm saying? This man did an in-depth study as to what ails us in the black community, but I never hear anyone talking about this brother, Dr. Carl Taylor. Check out his dissertation. Him and a group of 8 black men on a panel studied the black community for approximately 7 years. Nobody will address what they found. You see what I'm saying? But we keep using old talking points. So I just wanted to point you in that direction. Now,
you have the floor, though, Queen. You can address what they found if you like.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
because I was the one that said that. I'm gonna get to you in a second. I'm just doing some things over here, but we can have this debate.
I'm not debating because I don't think it would be fair for me to debate you because I'm really familiar with the plight of the black woman in Northern America. So I don't think that would be fair. So I'm just giving you information as to what the real deal is as it relates to the black woman. But moreover, let's talk about this density right here. Let's talk about right now because I think what we're going to see coming up in the next 5 to 10 years is we are going to see major splits and role changes in the black community as it relates to power, finances, and economic upward mobility. It is inevitable. I see outside sources trying to create a breach in the black community between the black man and the black woman, and I don't see anything stopping it.
Okay. Can I speak now? Because I was the one that basically brought up that topic. For one, I am never against my fellow black females. I'm not. What I was just merely doing was using the example of how certain things can be infiltrated within the black community by people outside of the black community. I am not speaking down on feminism. I'm not speaking down on their movement. I understand what they're going through. I know for a fact that it is more females to this day that are not college enrollees but graduates that are black than any other female inside of this country. No matter the color that you want to pick. black women are leading on all these things. I wasn't speaking down on them. I know when you hear black feminists, it might set off a trigger, and you might think I'm going one way with it. Anybody that calls here on a regular basis that listens to us and we talk, I never put down black women. What I'm saying is that a few, has been duped to believe this idea that they can be both. That's all I said. That's it.
They can be
so
both
not,
what? Both what? I'm sorry.
Both,
can you help me with that?
I mean, basically, both head of the household. Do you agree that a family structure is better if it was just a female or if it was a man and a female in the house?
Well, let me answer that in the only way I know how. I cannot say which would be better. I can only deal with the end result. So here's the thing. If I put this out here, it is better that a family have a male and a female. Do you understand what I'm saying? The nuclear family in the black community, that is best. But hold on.
Right.
But the sister who has 2 children, and she has a man that has taken off and left, what should she do? Just break down and say, oh, damn, I can't raise my kids, I ain't got no man. Well, then, see, that's why I cannot validate that statement. The best parent is going to be the equipped parent, the parent that was financially able to sustain the children regardless to the mate being there or not. That's the best parent.
But there's a difference between being the best parent and the best family situation. The best family situation, I think we could all agree, is that the nuclear family is intact. And to kind of go back a little bit to what was initially said as far as feminism, basically, at least from my standpoint, the premise is that not necessarily that feminism was good or bad. It was that white women use sisters to get on board with feminism only to promote their self-interest, not necessarily to do anything as far as
I can
promoting.
Agree with you there.
And that's pretty much what we were saying. Not necessarily that it was like the worst thing in the world or anything like that.
Right, but there's a flip side to that coin because the white feminists, even up until this day and age, many of them, a high percentage of them, have children with black men. Many black men who say they detest feminism have children and conjugal relationships with white feminists. So let's talk about the flip side of that coin. And let's also not forget that it was the white woman who infiltrated the civil rights movement and broke it down, by giving Brother Head and the mob closet, down south with the Southern Leadership Conference and the Stokely Carmichael's crew when these colleges, you already know where I'm going with this. So that did happen.
I have a theory about the civil rights movement as well. I don't want to really elaborate on it too much because I know people are going to bash me and hate me for this. You know what? Forget it. I'm just going to go in and see what I got to say. I feel as though certain people, I'm not talking about the elites, but certain people that was down with the civil rights movement only was really with it so they can openly walk around with white women, in my opinion. Openly fornicate with white women. Openly say that I am in a relationship with a white woman. That's just how I feel about it. I'm sorry, I do.
I mean, well, you
would be correct.
You can't discount that.
You would be correct. So I'm going to go ahead and yield the mic because I ain't never heard a brother give that truth out there like that. You would be correct. So you silenced me. You silenced me with
Queen?
that truth. I'm done.
Queen, can I? What's your name, Queen?
My name is Ocean. Ocean.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. That's dope. So let me ask you this, though. What role, if any, can white people play in our struggle? Or do you think they can? The same question twice. My bad.
I hate to answer your question with a question, but I'm going to answer. Just like when I put that question to my dad, I'm going to give you the answer he gave me. He put a question to me and it answered it for me. What role can you play? What role can you play in the liberation and upward mobility of the white?
Whoa! Ooh.
Apparently, our people have played the biggest role in the history of this country. To be quite honest, if you want to keep it a stack.
But how willingly? But how so? How so?
We built this country.
But do you give him liberty, sir?
Do I give him liberty.
Right.
No.
By helping him, then what makes you think
I don't think intentionally, like we went out our way and said, here, let's give you liberty, but just our efforts and our work and our enslavement has definitely allowed the white people in this country to benefit since its inception.
Well, you know
if
what?
that answers your question or not.
When we look at the world globally, and we look at the most powerful institutions, and when we look at the institutions that determine public policy, allow the black man, and when I say man, I'm not using gender, they don't allow the black man into those circles. Why is that? Major think tanks, you don't see black folks participating in that. I wonder how come we didn't happen to notice that. When we look at the countries who have a proliferation of ammunition or technology that they can defend themselves with, none of them are black-skinned, pinky-haired countries. So that ought to tell you something. What we have to do is what we should have always done, is concentrate on the marketplace. Everybody has a strong point. You know what our gift is? People want to be like us. And we let them be like us for free. We let them be like us. As a matter of fact, we let them come in and be like us and move us out of our positions. Rap, do I need to say more? We let them, we teach them how to be us, and then they take our position, and then we're looking stupid. So if we have all this swagger, if we know what it is that we have, what we bring to a culture, then let's keep it to ourselves, and we should charge people for it and still don't even fucking teach them. Because you know what? The Asians know how to do certain things, and they ain't going to never teach nobody how to do it. Because why? They want to continue to corner their market. We have markets, but we are so contaminated that we don't even know how to be upwardly mobile for our own culture. And I say this, the Japanese man don't participate in this political system. He don't give two damns about it. But you better believe he is financially stable in this culture right here. He has a place. And he don't care about this politics. So what is it that we're missing out on?
I've been saying that for years.
We don't have...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want to throw a stat out there. Everybody wants to talk about black people need to vote, Asians, Japanese, all these people in America are the lowest of voting. They don't need to vote. Why would they need to vote? They're already stable in the conditions that they're already in. I've been saying this for a very long time. I'm sweet though. I'm glad you said it.
I want to show you this.
They aren't being affected by the system like we are. So voting is not really as relevant to them.
They could be affected. But they could.
Could be, but they aren't.
They could. I mean, but the reason why they aren't affected is because they know how to keep things within themselves. They know how to empower themselves. That's the reason why they don't need to. That's why they're not affected.
No, I want to show you something. I want to show you this, and I hope I'm wrong, but I doubt it. Do you see this influx of Syrian refugees?
Some more callers, so I'm just
okay, I just want to say this, and let me be done. The Syrian refugees, keep your eye on them. Mm-hmm. Watch how they matriculate and blow up all over black folks in America. Mm-hmm. When they come here, they're not going to live in the hood. They're not going to live in the projects. And they're going to have jobs that you couldn't even get, and they can't even speak your goddamn language properly. Now, you just watch.
I was told by my middle school teacher that Mexicans will basically overpopulate, well, not overpopulate us, they will move us to third-class citizens. I've been told this in middle school, and she said, just watch how it happened. Let's look at it now. We are basically third-class citizens in America right now. If you want to compare us to them and then to the dominant society. So I would not be surprised if this happened right now because we don't know how to monetize what we have at this current point in time as black people. We want to be accepted a little bit too much. We want to feel as though that we're equal. And even though as humans, correctly, we kind of are because we all bleed the same color, but at the same time, they're not playing the game the same way that we're playing. But I'll just leave it at
that. I will say this: having grown up in a city with a pretty hefty contingency of Arabic people, it sounds good on TV to have them come here, but from experience, man, I'm cool. I'll pass.
I'm not
Deal with
speaking
it
on
yourself.
that. I'm not speaking on that. You feel what I'm saying?
I definitely. I'm just gonna put it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm cool. I'll pass. I'm all for humanitarian efforts to, and I can empathize with you. But when historically, I personally have had just horrible encounter after horrible encounter, it leaves a stain, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But Queen, I definitely appreciate you calling in, and I appreciate your wisdom.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, and salute to you.
Salute to you too.
Salute.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You do the same.
Have a good one. Well, no Sugarfoot, man. What's up? Hey, man, but I just watched that video, bro, and that's just fucking murder. Like, I know that it's totally off topic, but that is just that is just murder, and I don't have any other way that I can politely say that or politically correctly say that. That is just fucking murder.
You're talking about man, look, that just threw my whole day off, brother. My whole day off. Sad,
yeah, man, that like I can't even come up with any other words to really. Oh my God, man, that is just. I thought I posted it in the event, and you did, all right, but no, I did. Whatever the case, please, if you can check this video out of Laquan McDonald being murdered in the street, and I don't care who says what. That is a cold-blooded murder, and you cannot justify that in any way, shape, fashion, or form. It's fucking ridiculous, angering. It's pissing me off. I'm tired of this shit, man. I mean, I'm extremely tired of this shit. Like, this man is just, he might have been on something. So what? He's fucking surrounded by a gazillion cops. And the first thing they do is just shoot you, period. Anyway, man, let me let's take a couple more callers, man. We're going to get to 1275 right quick.
Oh, shit.
What's good, fam?
Hey, what's happening, man? What's happening with y'all guys?
Not much, man. What's going on with you?
All right, Sean Jobs and what's the other guy's name? AJ.
How you forget my name? Come on, man.
Man, you know I'm messing with you. Actually, I just tuned in, guys. I apologize. I'm still at work. I just tuned in, but I definitely I'm not even sure what the other comments were, but just want to add my quick 2 cents to it or whatever. Hey, man, I think that we need to get off this crap about, can white people help us? Can this people help us? Can that people help us? I mean, shit, I don't know if anybody mentioned it yet, but I think weren't like Quakers and shit like that, weren't they white?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have adapted, and not even adapted, I think we have adopted the system of separation that they've always had. If you put people in categories, it basically separates them. And as long as you have separation, you never have any shot or any chance at unity.
Can I say this though? Just to ask you, we didn't create the separations though. At one point in time, we was all looked at as the human race. You dig what I'm saying? The reason why
I agree.
Right, you feel what I'm saying? So I can understand the reason why we're basically playing the same game that they are playing, but as far as individually, speaking of you as yourself, me being myself and Jobs being who he is, can you accept somebody and it doesn't matter their color as long as you know about their heart? And that's something I feel as though that Well, no, it was kind of rhetorical because I was going to answer it, and I said yes, yes. I'm sorry, my fault. You feel what I'm saying?
Wait,
but yeah, like
it
doesn't matter what you
AJ?
look like. A little bit. My skin is my sin. You feel what I'm saying? Let me talk to AJ real quick. Hello. What's going on?
Right. Something wrong with AJ, man. Something wrong. I told y'all something was wrong with that dude, man.
But I be on point, man. Hey,
yeah,
man.
but you be on point. I'll give you that. You're right, but you're on point. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think that you're right. You know what? We did not create that system or that classification. We didn't do that. I mean, you know, man, of course, is the main function behind that. I mean, of course, the more categories you create, the more chances you have of manipulating the system in order to capitalize off of it. So, you know, that pretty much goes back to you treat people the way you want to be treated. You can't classify an entire race of people and say, you know what, well, because of what you did to our ancestors, all of y'all ain't shit. You know, that's just not how it rolls. You know what I'm saying? Now, white supremacy, even black supremacy for that reason, you know, they capitalize off the differences. And so we got to get back to the point where we stop looking at people's differences and start looking at the similarities.
Okay, you know, can I ask you this, though? All right, let's say you're in a room with a whole bunch of... All right, let's say you're in a room with a whole bunch of intelligent brothers or whatever, and they go by historical facts and say, I don't have any problem with any other race, but this is the reason why I want to be sheltered around people that look like me. Do you see anything wrong with that?
Do I see anything wrong with that? No, I don't. I think that we have to first protect our own. Now, I'm saying that we have to be humans, of course, but we have to, of course, get back to the point we protect our own. You know, if we're in a situation where our entire diaspora is messed up because we have the wrong priorities, you know, we're buying $100 sneakers, $200 sneakers instead of investing in books and education, then there's something inherently wrong with that. And
correct.
But that's across the board. White people do that shit too. That's across the board. You can't say that's a white problem or a black problem. You know, we more so see it in the black community. Now, you know, that's just being honest. You know, we're quick to stand in line and quick to stand in line for a pair of Jordans. That's true. We're quick to do that.
I mean, who came up with the saying recently that we do now? What are those? Black people came up with it. Sorry to say it. I hate it.
Came up with the who?
The what are those? When they talk about you. Okay.
Well, see, I have jobs, and what he's saying is, I mean, but in popular culture, of course, there are culture vultures. We all know that. Anything that we come up with, they're going to try to take it and try to add to it so it can be mainstream to where it can be acceptable to white people. Okay, so that's how they continue to keep their separation. What I'm saying is we separate ourselves by the stupidest forces in the world. You know, I don't want Mike down the street because Mike is messing with this girl. I want to holler, so I don't mess with Mike no more. Oh, you know, it's just the stupidest shit in the world that we go back and forth about. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, we still fall victim. We still fall trapped to the same things that separate us. Instead of us all coming together saying, you know what, look, we're humans first. We're humans first. But as long as we have these forces that separate us, they can capitalize off of it, man, then of course it will always be separate. It's always be that white person's trying to hold me down, or that black person's always committing a robbery. It's going to always be one or the other.
At least from what I'm getting from what you're saying is that basically, yeah, white people can, but the problem, just the whole separate, the labels per se is the problem.
Yep. Yeah, that's.
I mean, but that you know, and that that goes back to what I was saying as far as who created the labels. So now we have to use these labels to basically help each other. Now, you dig what I'm saying? We can't create all these falsified labels just because of what you have on to make me separate from you just because you're black. They're not using labels to separate.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, you're right. I'm listening. Go ahead.
I mean, they're not going to use labels to separate themselves from each other because they understand that they basically look the same and they're going to move as a unit. You dig what I'm saying? So the labels that we use against each other are basically to disenfranchise and push each other away from each other. The labels that they use against us is a little bit different. Like, now, I might be mad. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, on that point, I disagree with you because the same type of way that we separate from ourselves is the same way that they separate from themselves internally. Poor white trash.
Yeah.
hillbillies.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They don't look at, if y'all look at anything they talk about in the news, they always talk about the middle class. They don't say shit about poor people. They don't say shit about people that are less enfranchised. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you got to think, you got to put all that into a wider scope and say, you know what, even themselves, they're still practicing those articles of separation. So they do it too.
Yeah, you're right. You feel well, the point I was just trying to make very quick was we would just use it on small, minute things. When you look at the news, we already know that's controlled by a higher power. You feel what I'm saying? Or the dominant society, if that's what you want to call it. So they're going to use it differently. You feel what I'm saying? To put themselves in the position of power to be around other people that's in power. So when they talk about these things on the news, like you just brought up, but us, I'm not going to say, oh, look at his shoes. I'm just going to hang around nobody but other people in Jordans. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we're not using we're using our labels of separation for stupid things, like you said. You feel what I'm saying? But they're using their reasons of separation to build infrastructure, all these other things. You dig what I'm saying? But what we're using it for is kind of pointless, honestly.
That's right.
I mean, well, you know what? I disagree a little bit as far as them using their separation. Like there's the elite, and they are using everybody's separation to maintain that status. And they are,
that's
you know,
super
you
top
white,
tier.
green, purple.
That's a whole different tier.
Right.
That's a whole
right.
I mean, but all right, okay. Now I'll give you another example of them using their separation. You dig what I'm saying? Let's look at redlining. In the 1930s, they came up with redlining. The reason why they came up with redlining was they was going to build a community in each other that can afford to live in that community because of how you look. That's where redlining came.
I hate to cut you off. Is that you with the radio in the background?
My bad, I'm still at work, man. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're calling up from right at work, man. Salute,
brother. Go ahead.
My man is in a cardboard box right now, fetal position, chopping it up with us, man. Salute to you.
Oh, shit. Man, please, shit.
Oh, it's all jokes, man.
I work in the cardboard box here. Please.
No, man, it's all jokes.
I know, man. But you know what? The bigger point is going to always be, we don't have to adopt these articles of separation. We just have to adapt to them. Not adopt them, but adapt to them. You know, we don't necessarily have to keep on. We don't have to necessarily keep on using the same labels that they use, man, to separate us. Like, I don't mess with that. You know, I don't use the N word that much, but I don't mess with that N over there because you know what? He just can't get his stuff together. How about give him something positive so you can try to help him, show him how to get his stuff together. You know what I'm saying? We too quick when we adapted those labels and those and just classifying people. We also took this supremacy attitude almost, you know, to where it gave us the power to even look at our own brothers and sisters and put that label on them. Come on, man. We just gotta do this thing totally different.
Well, salute to you, man. Definitely appreciate that, as always, man.
No doubt, fellas. Hey, man, y'all be cool, as usual. Let me get back to my cardboard box, you know what I'm saying? But
now you going to run with that. Man, we already know Jack the homie, man.
Hey, man, bro, as long as they pay me the cardboard box, I'm going to chill up in his mug. I'm trying to tell you. But, hey, fellas, appreciate you listening to me, man. I appreciate y'all. Fellas have a great night, as usual, man. I keep it going, man. Good work.
Man, thank you, bro. Man. Appreciate it, man.
No doubt. Y'all be easy.
All right.
I mean, and you know what? We can. I think we could dance around it all we want, but at the end of the day, just in my humble opinion, there are instances where white people can be helpful, and there are some instances where white people just feel as though this is wrong, and I would like to do something about it. You know, we got to keep it a stack on that. There are some people that just believe things are wrong.
I think her name was Miss Jane Pittman. She wrote a book basically about after she wasn't a slave anymore, and she was walking from the south to the north. And I think the movie, I didn't read her book actually, you feel what I'm saying? But when I was looking at her movie, it was white folks that helped her out on the way there, you feel what I'm saying? She was barefooted. You feel like, what? Can you imagine? Like, some people don't even like walking to the corner store. She walked from the south to the north. You dig what I'm saying? And it was people out there, you know what I mean, giving them water, food, place to sleep at night, keep it moving. You dig what, like, these things have happened in history. So to just be totally ignorant to it, or just to be totally ignorant to somebody else just because they don't look like you, that they don't feel your struggle. They can't live your struggle, but they can feel it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I can't live how I would feel if I was somebody's parent and my son was killed, but I can feel their pain as well. I can show sympathy for it. I can be, and I feel as though some people do feel like that. But on the flip side,
I don't know if they can necessarily live the struggle, but they can definitely empathize. And wrong is
correct.
Wrong, and you know, as a human being, you are able to identify where there's certain things that's wrong, and it kind of ties into, you know, what we saw with the flag. You know, some people, even though the way they went about it was not palatable to a lot of people, they were just empathizing with other human beings.
Correct.
Not necessarily, you know, I agree with the whole philosophy of this particular country. It's just I see a human being that got murdered, and I feel bad about that particular person because I have a family, and I wouldn't want that to happen to my family. And there have been instances. It ain't been, you know, it's not a ton of them. Let's not get out of pocket with it, you know. But there are instances throughout our history in this country where white people have been extremely helpful. You know, not a lot of them. Not the majority.
Let's put that out
there.
You're correct.
Right.
not a lot, but it has
but definitely there have been instances. And we're at the half point right now, so let me let y'all know you're tuned in to My Skin Is My Sin on Blog Talk Radio. The telephone number is 347-855-8692. And if you do want to ask a question or make a comment, you have to press 1 to get on air. If you don't, I'll have no way of knowing that you actually want to say something, okay? And don't forget to check out the website, myskinismysin.com. Check out the group with the same name. We're on Instagram with the same name, My Skin Is My Sin 1. My Skin Is My Sin 1 on Instagram and Twitter. And check out the group All Black Everything. All right. Man, that just tires me out. But let's get to a couple more callers, man. We got 6.
I was about to say, I know you got like 3 sweat bullets on your forehead after getting that one out.
Right. We're going to get to 6509. And if you are just tuning in, the topic of today's show is what role, if any, can white people play in our struggle? All right, so we're going to get to 6509, and then we got 9672 after that. What's good,
evening,
man?
folks. Yeah, man, we good.
Good evening.
I wanted to commend the female that spoke earlier. She was right on topic, right on time. I like her attitude. She was there. She was not talking about something she read or got off the TV. She was in there. So she has an idea. And sometimes we may not agree with one another's conclusions, but if they telling you what they saw, I mean, how can you argue with that? You know what I mean? That's what they saw. How they conclude at the end of that may be differently. But I like what her dad said. How, you know, are you in here to help them? Why you think they're in here to help you? Was kind of what he was saying. You know, they out there. The whole civil rights thing was for somebody else's thing. They just use our momentum because we want a freedom rights trip. I mean, if you look at the signs in the 60s, the early 60s and 50s and stuff like that, you'll see they say freedom rights. They didn't say no civil rights. Civil rights came late after them Jewish boys came from the north to bring their agenda down for the court system to do the civil rights thing. Now, a dude gets shot in the back 20 times, he could sue for money. It's a civil rights action. It's not a freedom rights or a human rights action where that means, you know, you actually go to jail and shit like that, like it's a crime. No, it's a civil rights action where you can get paid $700,000, whatever, you know, you and your lawyer, you know, he going to get his third because, you know, if you check all the lawyers, the doggone bailiffs, I mean, not the bailiffs, the judges and stuff, all of them got Jewish-type names, right? I mean, you can see the whole story if you just look at it. But I'm just saying, meanwhile, they are not set up to help us. They're set up to help themselves. And whatever they do as long as you remember that and you can utilize them to your best advantage, like you say, go cash a check for me, go get that apartment because you know they ain't gonna rent it to me, shit. So you can get somebody to do that for you, you know, so you can get it to the apartment, whatever. I mean, you can manipulate them. Sure, if that's what you want to do your thing. But it help you? Do you really need some help? And if you do, you know, what kind of, you know, listen, I don't see them shooting Chinese boys in the back 20 times or anybody else in the back 15, 20, 19 times murdering, you know, you see it on the TV. It's straight up murder. It ain't like no joke or something you got to figure out or with this you're mitigating. So, no, it was straight up murder. Everybody see it, everybody see it. It's a done deal. Now what you going to do about it? Shoot a Chinese boy in the back tomorrow and watch what happens. Shoot anybody else back in the back like that tomorrow and watch what happens. You already know what's going to happen. And I'm saying to you, this is a challenge to all you youth who want to talk about the old guys and la-di-da, the rest of that story, you know, and what we going to do, and it's sad. It's sad if you're a bitch, okay? If you're just a punk-ass nigga, it's a sad thing. But if you're a man, somebody just violated you, you got to come with something else besides, oh, that's so sad, oh, my God. That's what, come on, man. Somebody got to man up sometime or another and be able to take it to the front. Even if you don't just go in there and talk about, oh, I'm going to shoot all the cops. Ain't nobody talking about getting crazy. I'm just saying, stand up. My goodness, ain't nobody even standing up. That's not the first brother, the other brother over here, the 9-year-old over here, the 17-year-old over here, the guy over here, Trayvon, this and this. So many fucking names. I done forgot half of them. And they still coming down.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Let me see where you're going with this. So basically, you're saying
I'm not sure
that this generation is. Yeah, you're basically saying that this generation isn't standing up.
I'm basically saying ain't no generation stood up to the degree that they have to stand up in order to get some relief or to win some kind of battle. It's just a win a fucking battle. I mean, okay, the thing with the guys over there, where they got the guy fired from the university. If you want to conclude that to be a battle, I call it a skirmish. But hey,
okay.
They won.
I have to cut you off. Now, I live in a city where we had an uprising earlier this year. We cost this city $30 million. They won't tell you that on the news. Yeah, and you know what city that is?
You say it cost who? It cost who $30 million?
Baltimore City. Okay. The uprising, them turning shit the fuck up. Yes, you won't see that on CNN. You won't see it on C-SPAN. The reason why I see it is because I live here. You dig what I'm saying?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to get your point. It cost $30 million.
Basically, because you have to look at you. Okay. Now you have to look at some of the things that was affected. People wasn't leaving out their house. They wasn't going to work because they were scared. They was nervous. Football, the first baseball game ever that actually happened in the stadium with nobody else there happened here. Because these young children was mad and was just angry, and they just went at it like that. Games was basically closed out. Do you know how much money that you can make off a baseball game just selling memorabilia and all these other things? These things didn't happen. So it is people that actually are stepping up, but they're not going to put it in front of your face as far as a global scale. You dig what I'm saying? So it is people that stepping up just like it was people stepping up in the past. So I'm not going to take away from what they're doing, but my whole outlook on it is I can't predict or the thought process cannot come out of how I want it to be on how somebody stands up for certain things. But when these things do happen, we have to acknowledge them as well.
Yeah, but that $30 million, man, like the city is paying is eating that cost, and that the city being black folks predominantly.
That's not true.
Yeah. Man.
So who's paying the 30? So Baltimore is not a predominantly black city.
Correct, but the city is not paying the Baltimore Orioles, their staff, their general manager, and other those things for all the ticket sales that they missed out on. They're not paying them for that.
I mean, but that wasn't a significant loss to them, man. If you think about how many guys. Hold on. Here it goes back to what I was basically saying about what you want it to be and what actually happened.
What you want it to be probably a $300 million loss. That's not just going to happen over something that happened, you feel what I'm saying, within the span of 3 days. But the fact that they lost money in general is a staple in a point that was made by those people.
That's
so
right.
We can't overlook them. We can't overlook these things. Just because it didn't happen the way you wanted to. Just because it didn't happen the way that you wanted to, like spaceships came down and they took over half of the United States.
But
it's not going to happen like that.
I never said that I had a particular, like want for how it should have went down. At least in this conversation.
Correct. But you did say, well, it's not going to hurt them that much. If it hurt them at all, it means something, though, right?
Yeah, you're right. I agree. Anyway.
All right. I give you that one. No,
it's not like that, bro. You feel what I'm saying? No, go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm agreeing with you on that one. Yeah, it did hurt some. I'm not gonna discount that. And to kind of go back to like the Missouri situation, even though some people, it's kind of the same scenario. Some people may not look at that as a quote unquote victory. It was, for those people involved in that quote unquote battle. It was a victory because that was their goal, and it wasn't just black folks that did that. It was black folks at the forefront. There were some white people that helped. Now, whether that help was self-serving or not, and I think it's to a certain extent, if you help, most of us that help in some kind of want to get something out of it.
Of course, and you should.
Financial or whether it's something emotional, you kind of want to get something from it. So I think we kind of got to be a little careful with and myself included when we're looking at people's motives, because everybody's got a motive. Now some people are just trying to line their pockets. That's a totally horrible motive.
Like the good brother that just called here, I feel as though that what he was saying, everything that he was saying was on point. You feel me? And even though I might disagree with him saying like, okay, they just got two punk ass white boys fired because they did a sit-in. That's true. But also, let's look at Missouri about the game that they forfeited. That cost them millions of dollars as well. That's why they stepped down, because they already knew that they was costing the university more money than it was to pay them. So it's either you're going to step down or we're going to fire you. They did forfeit the game. Yes, they did.
No,
they did.
They were getting ready. They were getting ready to. And
no. They was going to forfeit.
You sure?
No, I'm positive. They forfeited. They was going to forfeit a second game. That's why he left. They forfeited one game. Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
They forfeited the game. No doubt. I mean,
definitely appreciate you calling up, man. And appreciate the wisdom too, man.
No doubt.
Thank you guys, man.
Man, no doubt, man. Be sure to call out, man. Every Tuesdays and Thursdays, man. Shout out to my skin is my son.
Right, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
From Goons to Gods.
Everybody is welcome.
Everybody. There's only one rule. Just be respectful. Oh, my gosh. I'm starting to sound like Jobs. Let me go put my Detroit hat on real quick.
Right. You got to, man. I just shed a tear, man. It was a thug tear, but it was a tear. Salute to you, fam, man. We got to get to a couple more callers, man. Definitely appreciate you calling in, though, man. And tune in, like you said, man, every Tuesday and Thursday.
Hey, man.
I think he hung up.
No, I'm here.
Oh, my bad.
I'm about to say, I think you hung. Yeah,
I didn't know you were talking to me directly. Oh, I didn't know I was at that point.
Oh, no. I thought you had hung up, and I was like, just like, okay, well, I guess he's gone. I'm muting him. And
okay. No, I was.
I kind of got, yeah.
I thought you guys were talking to each other more or less, so I just kind of kicked back and listened,
No, all right, no doubt, no doubt.
Do that sometimes.
Yeah, we do want you to stay. We do want you to stay on, though. You feel what I'm saying? Just listen to the rest of the show. You dig what I'm saying?
It's your show. I can do it, man.
Salute, man. You have a good night, man.
All right, be good.
No doubt.
Hey, man.
Don't forget to follow us on. Hold on one second. Don't forget to follow us on Talk Radio. Definitely appreciate that. I'm growing a little bit, so salute to y'all who have followed us. What was you about to say there, AJ?
Oh yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, I mean, like if I'm going to wear the Detroit hat, you gonna have to put on the O's hat, man. You feel what I'm saying? Just for a day. You feel what I'm saying? We gonna have to switch roles just for a second.
I got
no
you.
doubt,
No doubt. I got you. Ain't no biggie with that one. Besides, I already got the shirt to match it, so yeah, I'm gonna have to. Right. And we do have a couple more callers, man. I wanna get to. And just a reminder, if you want to get on air, the number is 347-855-8692. You have to press 1 now. So we're going to get to 9672 right quick. What's good, fam? I heard kills.
Uh-oh, that voodoo messing with her phone, man. What's going on, kills?
I'm not co-signing that, man. All right, well, kills. Your phone call dropped. Just feel free to just call right back up. That was not me. Not me at all. And I am not touching not touching that at all. No, kills. We did not hang up. That was you, kills. Your phone just dropped. We could barely even hear you. All we heard was kills.
Yeah, this is.
Right, that's all I heard. So we'll give you a chance to call back up right quick. And what I did also, man, is if you are in the event, I just posted a couple of little scenarios where over the history of this country, a couple of white folks have actually done something, to benefit us. And like I was talking to somebody about I'm looking at Marcus' comment. He called us wild. Yeah, a little bit, bro.
Yo, you know what? I don't mean to cut you off, but I do want to put this out there for anybody.
You do it all the time. You always cut me off.
I'm sorry, man. I apologize, brother. But I do want to say this for anybody that's listening. If you are familiar with Tim Wise, press 1 or just put up a thumbs up or something like that, because he is a white person that goes extremely hard for, you feel what I'm saying, for black people. If you're not familiar with him, you need to get familiar with him. I am a huge fan of Tim Wise.
Yeah, dude is dope. I'm not even gonna lie. Oh wow! Before we get to another caller, I do want to say. What I do see a lot of people saying is, okay, well, you married to a white person, you are rendered useless and null and void. I disagree with that.
I'm not going to say nothing about that one. I'm sipping my tea.
I'm gonna put it out there, man. I disagree with that.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. You have a right to fall in love. Well,
and I respect that, but I believe that. If a person will only date white people, I have a problem with you. If a person, for whatever reason, you just happen to meet a white person and fall in love with that person, I'm not mad at you for that. I'm not going to hate on you or sit up here and say that, well, you can't be of any use. And there are a lot of people that will totally just cut you the fuck off for that.
Frederick Douglass was married to a white woman, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But this is still Frederick Douglass we're talking about. You dig what I'm saying? So that goes back earlier to what the sister was saying, for real, when she was talking about the civil rights movement. You feel what I'm saying? That me and her both agreed on, as far as certain people basically doing these things just so they can openly be in a relationship with the opposite, you feel what I'm saying, opposite race. Yeah, like, it really gets deep, you feel what I'm saying, as far as your motives. Now, if your motive is, I never want to talk to a sister again, so I'm just going to find me a white woman, that's different than you falling in love. Right, correct. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I just say I would rather just stay away from that topic, because I don't know the intimate pillow talk conversations type that man and that woman had, or vice versa. You dig what I'm saying? I mean, Maya Angelou talked to white men. She's still Maya Angelou.
He still is Maya Angelou.
Right. You feel so? I would rather just stay away from that topic. That's a little kind of sketchy.
I mean, you know what? The only reason I brought that up, and I'm sorry, caller, I'm gonna get to you in just 1 second. The only reason I brought that up, it just kind of ties in, even though it's not white people, quote unquote. But to say that because you love a particular person, you can't be helpful or beneficial, to me is kind of cutting us off at the knees.
Okay, I do want to say this, and this is something, and this is my hypothesis. You feel what I'm saying? How I felt for many years. Another AJ, right? This is how I felt for a long time. The reason why black people go so hard, you feel what I'm saying, the ones that you just want to put in the super pro black, I'm black, y'all type of category, is because it's one thing that we do not have the privilege of. One thing that black people do not have the privilege of is being looked at as individuals. When they talk about one, they're talking about all of us. When we talk about one, we're excluding them to just that one. And that's a huge difference. And this is where the mirrors come up and the smoke screens and all these things, where we can't differentiate. So when I just hear a normal black person say, "All white people ain't bad," I have to examine that person. Not because I don't feel that. I understand what he's saying and I feel the same way, but I have to examine him. Like, was he programmed to say that? Was he programmed to think that growing up in his whole life, he doesn't even understand how these certain things work as far as how supremacy works and this and that, such and such, blah, blah, blah. But I have to understand your movements. So now, that was just like, if you was to come up, I'm just going to use you as an example, so don't take this to heart. If you was to be like, you know what, I got me a white wife, I'm not going to look at you any differently because I already know what type of person you are. You dig what I'm saying? But if I was just to meet a random black dude, you feel what I'm saying, with a white woman, which I don't have any problem with interracial relationships or nothing like that, and I don't know him, I do, pretty much.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that, and I think that's fair. That definitely is a fair. Will people pause for a second and want to find out a little bit more? Yeah, and I'm not gonna knock that, and I'm not gonna say that anybody wrong for doing that at all. So I can appreciate that. I just don't like the blanket statement that people don't necessarily even do any diligence at all. They will just cut you off.
Correct.
But let's go ahead and get to a couple more callers, man. We're going to get to, this one is another one, all ones, so I'm not exactly sure where they're calling from, but what's good, fam?
You already talked to me. This is Ocean. Remember, you got me already. But listen, can I say one more
one
thing?
again, I guess?
Well, about the 10 lines, but I need to say this because I forgot, and I'll be really quick. Firstly, I want to say this about the dichotomy that a lot of you brothers have as it relates to white women when we're dealing with our liberty and civil rights. You said that Rachel Dolezal, you guys didn't even remember her name, but you seem to somehow have come to this summation that she has helped us, and she has not. Hold up now. But here's what we have a problem with.
How is she not? I mean, has she done stuff for black people?
No, she hasn't. But wait now. See, you know that old saying, the glass is either half empty or half full? You're looking at her glass as half full, but it never darted across your mind that she could be an agent. The best way to control, the best way to control a movement is to infiltrate it or to start it. Now, how do you know her cover wasn't blown? You don't know that, but you want to think she want to be black.
But you don't know within my mind either.
Ma'am, hold on, ma'am.
That's a little bit far-fetched to say that.
But ma'am,
you're telling me what's in my mind. Yeah, I'm absolutely serious.
Hold on, ma'am. I did say this though. I did say that she did sue HBCU. I did bring that up. I do know that for a fact. You feel what I'm saying? So Josh, that's on you. I'm telling you.
She did what? She attended an HBCU. Is that what you're saying?
No, she sued the HBCU. She sued.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Now, here's the thing. If you want to know the mechanisms of an organization, you guys, I'm going to say this and get out your way. You need to research who the main culprits were during civil rights movement. There are so many documents that have been released now. Don't you know they had people posing as freedom riders? They had folks posing
fully aware of that.
as Exactly. So what I'm saying is, do you understand that? Do you think that spies only grow abroad? It can't even enter your mind that a spy can infiltrate a so-called black organization.
Once again, that is absolutely false.
You know what? You're childish in your thinking. I can't say
tell
nothing
me what
else
I'm
about
thinking.
It.
You can't do that. Now, I can understand, some with your point, but to say what I'm thinking is it's not true. I know that they're spies. I know that for years they've infiltrated everything that we've tried to do. I'm not being naive to that at all.
They no longer do that anymore, though. Is that what you're saying? That stopped. There's no more of that anymore.
Again, I never said that. I did not even come close to saying anything about them stopping. My point of contention is that that's not the case in every scenario of every white person.
But with
there
her,
are actually some white people that actually have done some good.
Could it be with her, though? Rachel Dolezal, could she have been a spy?
Yeah, she could be.
Okay. See, here's the thing. You'll never infiltrate one of their organizations and turn it topsy-turvy. You'll never be able to do it because they identify you immediately because you have no role and no place in their upward mobility. You need to understand that. Once you understand that and get that down in your spirit, you will understand how you can move forward. So the man that has a white wife or the black woman who has a white husband, no, they don't need to come into the organizations because they create a breach. Now everybody got to be careful with what they say. Now people, they don't want to hurt feelings about what's going on because the white man's right here. Or the white, we'll love her somewhere else. Don't love her up in our organizations. We're her. You know what? The guy said earlier, there are poor, trashy white folk that are being deduced as well. But guess what? I don't see them getting shot 20 times in the back. Where's the white, geeked-up meth head that's getting shot up in the back like the brother that's working hard every day that got murdered? They're not. It's because of how we look. Get that down in your spirit. This world ain't fantasy you want it to be.
I'm not disputing that, but I'm not going to just automatically exclude every person who has fallen in love legitimately, and I personally have vetted them and feel like, okay, this is a good person. Now, I'm not saying you need to bring your wife or your husband to whatever meeting or function. That's totally different. However, because you love a particular person, it does not automatically exclude you from helping us as a people. I just don't believe that. We just have to agree to disagree on that one.
Okay, I agree. So I yield the mic. So go ahead and move on to your next caller. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that bus was backing up there, AJ.
I was in the back. I don't want no problems with that. I was in the back. I was talking to little Rand in there. You feel? I was in the back. What happened? Okay. Oh man.
But I'm not mad at her at all. I'm not mad. You know me. I don't. Everybody, got a right to their opinion and their thoughts on a particular topic, and it don't bother me at all. So I feel what she's saying, but I just don't agree with some of what she was saying.
Well, I already basically spoke on that, and like I just reiterated, I just feel as though I need to know what your motives are if you're going to basically date outside your race, because Italians don't basically break their codes. It has to be like they have to be super duper in love to break their codes. You dig what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Even if we go back far, far, far in history, you feel what I'm saying? Like kings' daughters and other kings' sons, basically they was mated when they were children because they want to keep that lineage together. You dig what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to, I'm not going to say to accept, but it's hard for me to just openly just think that somebody that wants to just do so right for the black community can date outside of their race so openly and so easily. But if you fall, you can't control who you fall in love with, though. So I'm open to both sides. You feel what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's just and to be fair, it definitely is one of those touchy subjects, to say the least. and there are so many variables that go into that, and so many things that, it can be difficult, and I'm not gonna lie. I saw a brother who is married to a white lady.
Correct.
And he was posting about that the other day. And what he was saying was that, I feel what you're saying, blase split, and, because people were pretty much saying what she was saying. And his thing was, you know what, she, it's not like I just got with her, like, after I got my bread or whatnot. She basically was there when I was nothing and helped me to get to where I am, and I love her. It doesn't make me not feel any black, feel less black or anything like that. So in that particular instance, and having had conversations with the brother, I get where he's coming from. He would be one of those people where I'd be like, okay, yeah, no, not a problem with that particular guy, but yeah, I would, the antennas definitely go up. I'm not going to lie about that.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair assessment.
I think I had 3 sweat bullets on my head as well just now. Let me drink some of this tea.
All right, oh, you know what? That's what it was. The whatchamacallit just never went away. But let me get to another call. Let's try Kills again, man. We're gonna get to 9672 again.
Oh my God.
Kills.
Good evening, God damn it. Okay, hello.
Oh
Jeez, calm
God.
down, Sparky.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's good?
I know I come on the scene with drama. Nah, how y'all doing?
What's going on?
I'm good. How you gentlemen doing this evening?
I'm all right.
We're doing great.
Since AJ ain't gonna say it.
I already said it. I said it already.
Oh,
that's my
I
line,
must have missed
man.
that part. Well, you know what? You've been slipping, bro.
A lot of calling on the outs of the people today, isn't there? I'm not gonna lie, a little lost. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little lost because I got shut down and I had to call back, and I don't know what exactly the current subject is. I know what the topic is about, but I don't know what the current subject that y'all leaned with on. So I don't know.
Yeah,
what do you think about the topic?
Okay, say that again.
I was saying, what do you think about the topic?
The topic, are Caucasian people, can they help the black struggle? Is that what the main topic is about?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we would definitely love your input on this, Kills.
I believe, they can if they wanted to. There was a video that this Caucasian man had put out, and he made a statement regarding why white folks stay shut to black problems. And he made a point about that folks it's easier for them to remain shut than to open their mouth regarding the situation, just, so they don't deal with from other white people.
Correct.
Call them out or, giving them hell or, cutting them off or, turning their backs on them or whatever the case may be. And he made that statement, and it made a lot of sense. White people don't have to deal with the struggles that people of color have to deal with, so it's easier to turn the other cheek and act like, hey, better them than me, or hey, it's not my folks, or it's not my people, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? And, him making that statement made me realize how there might be a lot of Caucasian people that would like to help or would want to help, but they don't want to deal with that for a long time. They were stand up for the rights of black people or people of color. Now, I remember visiting my old neighborhood. I'm from New York, Manhattan, Uptown, Beckman, Iton, which is a predominantly Dominican neighborhood. You know what I mean? Now, Dominican from the Dominican Republic. And, a lot of Dominicans are black as hell, but they don't want to be called black,
Correct.
And they're heavily melanated with way nappier hair than me. I'm Haitian, but they look they look more Haitian than me, quote unquote, so to speak, as people would judge what majority of Haitians look like. You know what I mean? And, he was a white guy, and he was standing up for the police brutality case. He was rallying up people to come to some type of event that was going down in the Bronx. for at some community center where they was going to be speaking out against police brutality and the way, you know, police are treating people of color. And he was a Caucasian. Like, hey, I guess you feel our pain, okay. You know, and he was, they was passing out these, like these little newspapers or whatever that's like, you know, in supporting the movement that they're trying to, you know, do or whatever. And, you know, I was kind of impressed, like, you know, he was really passionate about it. You know, he even spoke Spanish. I was like, oh, no, I don't speak Spanish. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, and I was like, no, I don't speak Spanish. And he was like, no, I'm sorry, but, you know, it'd be great if you can come. You know, it's not right what these cops are doing, and da-da-da-da-da. Like, he was going in, you know, he was hitting the whole, like, he was a salesman. He had the whole salesman pitch down pat. You know what I mean? Right. He was talking about how he's outraged by how, you know, the police are going on about how they're treating people of color or people that live in the urban city. He was an older white man. He was definitely senior. Well, you know, Caucasians are age faster than, you know, melanins. So, you know, I don't know. He looked like he was a senior citizen, 60-something, but maybe he was younger. I don't know. But, you know, he had... And, you know, but he was really speaking up. Yeah, he was speaking up, and he was very passionate about the topic. You would have thought the cops killed his son, the way he was going in on it, you know? And I feel like, you know, I was commending him for his, and, you know, him wanting to get involved and try to do what he can to help the movement, you know? And, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of his own folks would probably, you know, turn their nose up at him like, oh, that's not your problem. Why are you getting involved? You know, what the hell? Right. You know? You know, I'm pretty sure his own folks was, you know, not supportive of what he was doing, but he was extremely passionate, and I was like, wow, that's so cool, you know. But, yeah, I think white people can not assist, but, you know, help shut down certain things because they have that power to shut down certain things. When white people are angry, and too many white people get angry, things get shut down. You know what I mean? But when too many black folks get angry, we're called savages, we're called, you know, beasts, we're called, you know, everything under the sun.
Yeah, I know all about that. I know all about it. That's all. You know
what I wonder sometimes, well, not sometimes, it just kind of came to me, I'm not going to lie. Like, if the shoe was on the other foot, like, would I do anything?
You couldn't even imagine it. It's no way that you can imagine it. You feel what I'm saying? Because you've never been on the other foot. No, you can't. No, you can't. And hold on, I'm gonna explain to you why you couldn't imagine.
I agree. You can't imagine.
Because you didn't come from the lineages of where. Put it like this: you're saying that you can understand where a white person is coming from, but you never experienced privileges that they have.
Exactly. I'm not saying I could understand where they come from. I'm just saying I can use my imagination. No.
Well, you have the right to use your imagination.
So hold on, but I do want to say this, boo boo. You feel what I'm saying? As much as like I really tried. I tried millions and millions of times. Do you see? That's how systems work. That's why it's called systematic. So if you want to imagine, if you would help somebody, first you have to imagine how you got where you was at. Then you have to imagine where your parents put you at. Then you have to imagine where their parents and 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 their parents. Then you have to imagine how you would not basically be looked at when you go into a corner store. Then you have to imagine your neighborhoods not being infiltrated and basically structured around other people. It's too deep. I don't have to go through all that to imagine something. Yes, you do. I'm sorry, you do. What? You really do. I swear to goodness you do. There's nowhere in the world that you can put yourself in. That's like, oh my goodness. That's like me saying I can imagine myself being a basketball player but not thinking about practice. You're not thinking about the practice. You're just thinking about imagination. But you're not thinking about systematic white supremacy. But you're not thinking about systematic white supremacy in your imagination. But you want to put yourself in that position. You can't even imagine it. You can't. So you have to put both of these things together. I'm sorry. Come on,
man. It's unfathomable for people of color.
You cannot. Even if you tried,
that just makes up sense. I just no.
How doesn't it make no sense? You just said that you wouldn't even think about practice, but you want to think about yourself in the game. But you don't want to think about all the things that were put in place, but you want to think about yourself in another skin color helping somebody out. How doesn't it make sense?
Well, first off, I'm not talking about being another skin color. I was just saying sometimes I imagine like if we were the dominant society and
how did we get to be the dominant society? It wasn't a vote. It wasn't a vote at all.
Truth be told, we are the dominant society if we stuck together. We are. When you go back to slavery, how is it hundreds of slaves on a plantation and one slave master with one wife and 2 white kids and we're the minority? Fuck out of here. We never was the minority. We just accepted that label because of the systematic white supremacy that is enforced on this motherfucking land.
Of course.
Sorry.
Globally, they already know that. Globally, they only represent 10%. Globally.
Right. Mm-hmm. And they're dying off because if you look at the statistics, Europeans are dying off. I don't know if it's Mother Nature that singled them out, but Europeans are dying off. If you look at Europeans in Italy, Europeans in Spain, Europeans in Greece, the European race is dying off. They need us to survive. If they stuck together, they would not make it. So if you YouTube that shit, look it up. The European race is dying off.
I'm really only speaking on.
They're not
on
multiplying fast enough. The infertility rate is too high, and they're not multiplying fast enough. But they don't want you to know that. That's not common knowledge. You know,
I'm not
they don't talk
what
about
you said.
that. They still want to make us.
They
still want to make us the minority. You know, make us feel like the minority or the inferior race.
I'm speaking about American.
Okay.
You know, in my imagination, I'm at liberty to imagine whatever the hell comes to my mind.
You gotta hurry up for it's illegal.
If I was going to imagine playing a sport or being a basketball player, no, I will not be imagining practice. Like that's just not. Why would I waste my imagination time on practice? My imagination, I'm imagining winning. Yeah, making the winning shot. Yeah,
and all the goofy hoes.
Well,
don't forget the goofy hoes.
No, because I'm not down with that. I've never been down with groupie hoes. That's not my thing. But making the winning shot definitely would be dope.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kills, we're definitely thankful for you calling up.
Thank you.
You still
Thank you. Yes, I'm here. Doubt. I'm still here.
I just wanted to make sure you was there. We already know that you have a vibrant spirit. You have a very vibrant spirit, and I just wanted to make sure you were still there. I'm sorry.
I'm still here. But I guess this is my cue. This is my cue for you to move on to the next caller or the next subject. It's cool. I get it. But it's been a pleasure speaking to you, gentlemen.
Okay, group hug without jobs. Group hug without jobs. You feel what I'm saying?
Group hug. Hug it out. Bring it on in.
Actually, I'm cool with that. I'm going to pass on that group hug with AJ. I'm cool with that.
No, this is a group hug.
I'm not touching him. I'm not.
You don't have to touch him. I'll be the cream in the middle. I'll be the cream in the middle.
Oh wow!
That don't sound right. Okay, never mind.
This is PG-13.
Imagination is crazy now.
Yeah, he want to be a basketball player. You talking about cream in the middle? That's PG-13.
Man, where the hell did this show go? Oh my goodness! Well, salute to you, Kills, for calling up.
No problem, boo boo. You know I love y'all. When I call up when I can.
Always,
no doubt.
Always, Kills.
Yes.
Have a good one.
You too, boo boo. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. We're gonna get to 6844 right quick. What's good, fam?
What up? It's DJ Renee, a part of the Juice Crew, checking in on my skin. Is my sin. What up, AJ? But I wanted to ask those girls I wanted to dial back. I know y'all kind of had went further in the conversation. But sometimes I wonder, and I think there's a Dominican lady on hold. I think I inboxed you her last 4. AJ, I don't know if we can all be on at the same time with y'all's board. But I wanted to ask her, as far as the Dominicans were concerned, is it that they're fighting for culture or for their culture, or are they fighting against the actual skin tone? Because for me, I'm Creole. I'm from Louisiana, so of course, Creole being, African ancestry, French and or Spanish, Native American, of course. And in my case, I have all three except for the Native American part. But anyway, and so for us, when I say that, it's so that people can immediately identify that even though I am a Black American, I will have cultural differences because I grew up inside of my culture. So there are things that we do separate from what may be considered a standard American culture. And so a lot of times when I've seen Dominicans, a lot of people where I'm from have Dominican ancestry, including my family. I don't. Mine is Honduran, but my other family members do. And I always looked at it as for the most part, just saying, yes, I'm brown, I'm dark, my hair is nappy or whatever, but however, my language, my food, my practices, my religion, everything else about me is not similar. And I kind of wanted to hear you guys' thoughts. And also there's a Dominican lady on hold, and she can hear right now too, and she may be able to answer. But I kind of wanted to hear you guys' thoughts, since I think y'all deal with Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and and a lot of other Latinos.
I'm a little lost though. What specifically
my thing I was saying at the beginning of her call, the girl that just hung up, Pill, I don't know her name, and that she was saying about how Dominicans fight. They always say they'll say they're anything but Black or Afro-Dominican or anything like that. Even their skin may be very dark, their hair may be very coarse. And I said I always took that as them fighting for their culture. Meaning even though their skin may be brown, but they're fighting because they're trying to say that I don't share anything with you but skin. My language is different. Okay.
I do want to say this, though, because I am not very well versed as far as dealing, you feel what I'm saying, with those type of people. But I did have a dude I used to work with. His name was Santana. And the biggest joke that we used to always mess with him, because he was an older dude than us, and we would call him Dominican Republic, even though he was Puerto Rican. So we would call him DR, and he would get upset about it. You feel what I'm saying? Because one thing is a color, but another thing is a culture. You dig what I'm saying? And certain people want to represent their culture. You dig what I'm saying? Which I am not mad at all. If you're proud about who you are and how you feel about who you are, why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you stand up for it? I feel as though that's one thing that us as Black people just don't do. You dig what I'm saying? Like,
and then you demonize other people of color for doing.
Can I ask you a question?
So I think we have to address that. Sure.
Just to kind of get back to the topic, do you think that white people can play a role in our struggle?
They always have, and they always will.
Oh,
that's true. I'm sorry, it is.
As far as
when you say they always,
because I'm only speaking from an American perspective, not
right. And that's I'll feel you on that one. And when you say they always will, can you elaborate on that?
Whomever's in charge will always have a word in the decision in your struggle, because we don't have any of the end deals. And the different things that go on for our society. And pardon me, because I didn't catch the beginning of the show. I kind of had chimed in about, I want to say, an hour in. But so I kind of missed the initial point. I was just trying to catch up on it when Pill was talking. But yeah, I believe they always it's kind of unavoidable.
In a positive manner. Maybe I should have said that.
Okay. Yeah. Because all white people, for sure, I don't even think half of them share evil intent or sentiment. I think a lot of people forget that while we were slaves in the field, there was equally as many white folks out there as well. They were poor as hell. All the way around. No matter what country or continent they may have come from, I think there's this mistaken perception that all white people were slave owners or had something to do with that, and that was just only a very small group of people of any color that were able to own slaves. That was a form of wealth. But that's where dirt poor comes from. That wasn't coming from us. That was from the white people who were so poor they were eating dirt. And hang on one second, AJ. And that's why a lot of the little racism was so easy, because they're looking at the slaves, who had to have quarters, they had to be fed, they could have their own gardens, they had to be clothed, they had to get medicine. Whereas if you were white, you were sharecropping or working just like the slaves did, with none of the other. And I know people are gonna probably jump on me for this, but none of the other benefits.
Right. I mean, see, this is where certain terms came from, like redneck. They think that the term redneck came from just you being country and that's being ignorant to anybody else that doesn't look like you. No, it came from them working in the fields the same way that we were at a certain point in time, and the sun used to burn the back of their necks just because of the color of their skin. Now, if we want to talk about Irish people, they were slaves at one point in time, but the difference is when you look at history, they just named them differently. But they were still slaves. They were just called indentured service. You dig what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, if somebody can relate to your struggle wholeheartedly, why would you put that against them just because of how they look? That's why I wouldn't do that. But that's a good point. I do. You feel what I'm saying? I do want to check your mannerisms. I do want to just check how you are as a person. But I do that with everybody. I'm just not going to let you in my circle. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you're not just going to be in my circle just because of how you look. You dig what I'm saying? You got to be my homie, my round, my dog. You feel what I'm saying?
I think one thing we have to keep in mind is that self-preservation will always take over in any instant. You know what I mean? People are going to go with what they are or who they are, with their race, with their family, with their friends, self if it's one-on-one. It's a very difficult thing to discuss. But what is the end game of the discussion? If you don't mind, you guys, can you relay the topic again, and then is it a discussion or is there an end to the debate or discussion?
After what happened to LaShawn McDonald, we kind of been bouncing around, but basically the initial topic was, can white people help melanated people? You feel what I'm saying? As far as black people. That was
when you say help, what are each of you guys saying when you use that word help?
Play a role.
What do you mean?
In a positive manner, as far as organizing, or as far as doing something beneficial to improve our lot in this land.
In a humanitarian type of sense, where they don't see color. Okay.
Well, that's not going to happen. I mean, you're human. There's always going to be differences. If we're all white, then we would have differences. Oh, they have freckles. That person has red hair. That person has blue eyes. That person has green. That person's smart. That person's dumb. So that's always going to be present, no matter how similar, you think people are. We all naturally. I mean, do you hang out with dumbass people? I know I don't. You know what I'm saying? For example,
they behold me, but
I mean, but I'm just saying your preference is probably not to hang out with people who you can't learn something from. I mean, me personally, I don't like to be around a lot of ignorant conversation because it lowers my intellect, and I can't learn any. You kind of you have to dumb yourself down. So I prefer not those types of situations. But as far as I guess what we're looking for in this country, I guess, is to be treated fairly, and the fear factor, I guess, is kind of what you guys are speaking towards.
Yeah.
And the unfair prejudgments that a lot of men of color face as they walk out the door each day. That fear that's there, is that kind of what you guys are speaking more towards, or?
Well, it's pretty much just our existence in this country and improving it in whatever shape, fashion, or form. Whether you are into protesting, whether you are into doing something for the community in a more direct fashion, as far as giving back. Just whatever whatever we have decided per se to do to make our situation better. Can white people be a benefit to that?
Okay, we do. Okay, so is it already understood that no person in power is going to give you their power?
That's
right.
Well, I agree. I totally.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure we all kind of understand
because
that.
I kind of.
Nobody's going to help you beat them. You know what I mean?
I kind of made that analogy earlier. You feel what I'm saying? But I'll reiterate on it again. You have to really feel it in your heart.
I do want to say, before you go on, AJ, I do want to say, man, we only got about 15 minutes left. We do have quite a few more callers. Just to let you know.
Okay. So you could have knocked me off because I think it's 0004. I can see it on the inbox. It's trying to get in, so y'all definitely can just keep it.
Okay. I don't see that number. So I'm not sure if they have called the right number, but the number is 347-855-8692, and you have to press 1 if you would like to get on air. So I'm not. Yeah, I don't see that number at all.
Area code 407.
Not in my. Wait a minute. It's an area code there, but a different last 4. But I'll get.
That's
there
okay. Yeah.
anyway.
Okay. Yeah. 407. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
salute to you, Queen, for calling up.
Thanks, you guys. Juice Crew.
No problem. Thank you. All right. Oh, there we go. Let's see. We got about 13 minutes left, so I just want y'all to know I'm not going to try to be cutting you off. I do apologize, but I may have to cut you off because I think we have more callers than we have time, so I do apologize if anybody is left on hold. It was definitely not our intent. But we are going to get to 9039 right quick. What's good, fam?
What's going on, bro? What's poppin'?
Nothing much. What's good with you?
Shit, I just sitting here listening to the topic, man. I want to jump right into it for real, so motherfucker ain't got to cut me off. Okay, so when you say, can white people be of any benefit to the struggle, just because they created the struggle don't mean they've never been a benefit to it. You can go all the way back to Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? Them funds didn't come from all black people. White motherfuckers put the funding down for that. Washington Duke started that shit in North Carolina. And then you can come all the way to today where you walk up in a motherfucking job and we know the white motherfuckers run it, yet they hired your black ass. So what struggle is it that we're referring to when we say can they be of any benefit? Because to me, it's two extremes to this shit. Either you're going to fall in line with this shit or you're going to be ready to knock some motherfuckers off and talk real live, cool takeover shit, which we're outnumbered. We're not in any position of dominance. I don't know why nobody didn't tell that airhead chick that was on here that we're not in any position to dominate anybody. You're not going to correct me on anything I just said, my nigga, so you can just listen. You're not going to correct me. I said what I said, and that's what I meant. And you should have corrected her, or you did not.
Taz. Moving on to the next caller. Don't ever call back up here with that. And one thing we will not tolerate is you being disrespectful to any of our callers. They have a right to their own opinion. They have a right to call in and express that opinion. You don't have a right to call up and call them names. We don't do that. So we'll move to 6334. What's good, fam?
Peace. I'm good, and hopefully you are too. I'm listening, and it's just a lot of. I understand the brother before his anguish, and not to call any names, but there are some contradicting points in what the sister was talking about, and a few things that you said. I don't know if you guys know the history of Haiti and Dominican Republic, but
no.
It stems from the French and the Spanish hate for each other. They still hate each other to this day. There are some ethnic blocks that they tend to drag around with them when it comes to Spanish to French and French to Spanish. That translates into the assignment of value with skin color and hair texture in the Dominican Republic and Haiti. So if you're a Haitian, the lighter you are, the better you are. If you're a Dominican, the darker you are, the worse you are. And this paradigm translates the ideology of how language is used, French and Spanish. In the both, I speak both. They're both very, very, very feminine. So, it's just a grafted mentality that has been passed down through culture and language barriers and has manifested in a racial barrier when it comes to Dominican and Haiti. Now, one thing that you said earlier, brother, and I'll be brief, was you said, about people being black and about being proud of that. And I disagree with that because, I'm not proud of being black. One, I had nothing to do with that. And two, if I'm going to be proud of being black, I'm going to be proud of all of the accomplishments of black people and everything else. And when I say everything else, I mean that, the accomplishments of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, a whole slew of people. But what about the black guy that shot 20 people in the mall last week? Or the black guy that did the drive-by and shied down on the other black.
But,
I hate to cut you off. I hate to cut you off, bro. That I can't be proud of that's associated with my blackness.
Well, I'm not proud of anybody killing anybody for no reason at all. But that's definitely not what we were talking about in the topic. The topic was actually what role, if any, can white people play in our struggle.
I mean, I can give it to you real simple. They should play no role, and any time we are struggling, it is because they are playing a role. It's just like a body. If your body functions independent of anybody else's cells or anybody else's bones or anybody else's anything, we have to function like a body. The Jews do it. The Muslims do it. A lot of people, the blacks in America, we don't function as a body because we're not a body. And if we are a body, we're disjointed. We're diseased. We're broken up, and see. The thing is, like the sister did say, nobody's going to give up their power, and she's true. But the fact that remains is they get their power from the guns now, and they also get it from us having fear. So they're protected with two different shields, and the only way that I see that we can overcome that is not to fight them, because like the brother said, we're not prepared for that. But we should get away from them and learn to be independent. Because as long as we're independent, we're doing for ourselves, and we don't have to worry about struggling or anybody doing something for us. The body survives. It's about survival, and that's what the body does. And if you want to call that a struggle, then it is a struggle. So why should you base your survival on someone else's say-so? You feel me, brother? I understand what the brother's saying.
I'm not looking at it as basing it on somebody else's say-so, but I'm not going to discount the fact that there have been white people over our existence in this country that have actually helped in some way, shape, or fashion to get
hold on, wait a minute. I do have a question. A lot of things I do agree with you on, but I do want to ask this. When you put the dominant society in this box, but then we're talking about us in another box, you're saying we're disease, we do this, we do that, we do that. Let's talk about some of the good things that we do as well. You dig what I'm saying? We don't have to always look at us as the lowest of the low, because we're not the lowest of the low. You dig what I'm saying?
Some of
That's
us
just
are.
my personal opinion.
But some of them are.
But some of them are as well. So why did you mention that?
So I'm not discounting their numbers, but when it comes to our numbers, I'm not going to throw a blanketed, statement like Black Lives Matter, because that rapist that raped my cousin, fuck his life. You know what I'm saying? I would kill him if I saw him right now. You see what I'm saying? His life doesn't matter to me.
But I don't think when you say Black Lives Matter, I'm pretty sure people aren't talking about
you have a lot of
negative.
You have a lot of negative standpoints when it comes to people that look just like you, but you want to say empower each other.
You're wrong. And I base my standpoints on the content of a person's character, because black people are fucked up just like white people. Every time I say something about black people, you turn it and say, well, white people do this too. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's not I'm dealing with it as it comes. I can't make blanketed, generalized statements. And you just made one about me.
Okay. I didn't make no statement about you. I just asked you a question.
You said I got a problem with black people.
No, I didn't. No, I asked you. I said, why?
AJ,
okay, dog.
AJ.
You feel?
Calm down. I got you.
Listen. No. This is real talk for real. You did what I'm saying. Like, you basically, you made a blanket statement, and I asked you why you don't do that, and the first thing you did was answer my question with a question. Like, well, why do you have to always refer back to white people? No, this whole show is circled around black people. That's all this is circled around. You dig what I'm saying? So why would you have to resource everything that you're saying to the lowest common denominator of black people just to make your point? You don't have to do that.
So what is it that you're dealing with? Because if there was I'm answering your question. I'm answering it.
No, you're not.
Okay, I will answer it. If there was no lower common denominator of black people, you would have nothing to talk about.
It's a lower common denominator of anybody that you're talking about, any race, color, or creed.
But you just said this was a black show,
no,
right?
You
so we're
said
talking
it
about
first.
Black people.
You said it
first. Oh my God, brother! You got to learn the rules of arguing, man. That's a red herring, brother.
That's exactly. You're losing right now because you cannot back up no statement that you made. But you're not referring to anything that you just said.
How can I lose when I stand alone?
Bruh. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry I had to mute y'all, but hey, we only got a couple more minutes, AJ, and I just wanted to make sure I could get that across. Yeah, where the hell did you go? You hung up, AJ. Call back before this 3 minutes is up, bruh. And I do apologize I had to mute you too, King, but I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that we only have like 3 minutes left to go. And I definitely want to get a couple of more callers, get at least another caller in. And AJ, call back up, bro. Your phone hung up. King, you here with me? 6334.
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Okay, man. I hate to cut you off, man, but I definitely want to at least get another caller in before we go.
It's cool, brother.
And no doubt, and I get what y'all was both saying, you know, and I definitely feel where AJ was coming from with that, and I heard you shout out Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and it's just like sometimes, you know, you kind of want to just be able to just focus on one thing as opposed to, you know, not. I guess to a certain extent, you know, we don't always want to hear about the bad shit, and that's true, you know, we don't, right. But we do have to hear it sometimes, but sometimes we want to keep it in context. You know, so it's a touchy thing. You know, there's a time and a place where we definitely have to bring up, you know, the ills within our own community. We can't ignore that. You know, but we also have to, you know, be able to singularly celebrate ourselves too, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. You're an excellent host and a peacemaker, brother. I give you that.
Appreciate it, man. No doubt. Have a good one, man.
You too.
All right, we're going to get to one more caller. We have 1 minute and 50 seconds left. And before I do, salute to y'all for calling up. I got a feeling this caller will probably take us over the time. Shout out to AJ. Shout out to Sean. Don't forget to tune in. Check out the website, myskinismysin.com. Check out the group. It's the same name. Check out the group, All Black Everything. AJ, you got a minute, bro. You need to call back up. All right. Matter of fact, that was 90 seconds. She just told me. All right, so we're going to get to 4125 right quick. What's good, fam?
Hi, how are you?
All right. How are you?
Okay. I am very well, thank you.
What's good,
I wanted to say real quick in 90 seconds or less, hopefully, that as far as what whites could contribute, the first two things we need to look at is, one, speaking of how white people are involved. Problem is we're not living in a mono-ethnic society. We're living in all kinds of different dynamics, and this is not just, you know, an American issue. This is a pandemic that we're dealing with, you know, from everything from here to what's going on in Paris to what's going on in Nigeria to what's going on in the Congo. It's happening everywhere. That's first off. Secondly, as what was being shown, you know, historically, that slavery has been here since time immemorial. But the worst type was what happened into the Americas, the worst type. But even before then, in the continent of Africa is where it all basically started and spread out. That's two. And the third thing about it is that now the whites that have now
spilled over to people of color are being exposed to things, being shown things, you know, and they are able to get outside of their box and become aware of what is going on. That's why this younger generation of white and quote-unquote white ethnics, those are your Greeks, your Italians, your Russians or whatever, aren't too quick to hear the la-di-da that we have been taught before in the past.
Right. Okay.
So that being said, the contribution, especially in this generation with the younger people, because now the younger people are becoming aware, you know, because now they're able to speak to each other in a global spectrum versus a community or neighborhood or even a state and national perspective. It's global. So what could be affecting me here can also affect somewhere in Europe or Asia or Africa. So there is a common ground. There is a common struggle. But now the question is, what is the struggle about in this day and age? It's the same as it was back in the day. It's about global domination by 1 or 2% that is holding the purse strings and pitting everybody else against each other. That is what it's about. It's not about black. It's not about white. It's not about Asian. It's not about Caucasian. It is about socioeconomic power, and the racial construct is just a smokescreen for a bigger agenda.
Okay. And I can't really disagree with that. You know, to be quite honest, I think we have it works. Shit, it's been working for how long now? You know,
millennia.
It's like this the same playbook, just over and over and over.
Of course. It's just a different time. It's the same treatment, just a different time and a different way of going about oppressing the masses. And now it has spread over to more of socioeconomics than it is color. See, we're still in the smoke screen. We're not walking out of it is the problem. We're not looking at it for what it really is. We are looking at it from what's easy to point at, the superficial. We're not digging deep the way that we're supposed to. You know, and that's the lack of education, that's the lack of drive, and that's the lack of initiative to really figure out what's going on here so we can be able to better combat what is going on, you know, because us figuring out, oh, well, you know, blacks shoot each other and whites shoot each other, that's not even the point. Why is this all being done? Like all this stuff that's jumping off globally, do you think that's by coincidence? Of course not. It's by design. So as long as everybody is arguing against Paris and jumping on the Syrian refugees, the 1% that are doodling the purse strings are still laughing, and they're like, we're not even able to, we don't want to touch them because the masses are doing the job for us.
And on that note, Queen, we're gonna wrap the show up. That was dope. That's true. You know, I can't even, no argument here at all. But we definitely got to wrap the show up, Queen. I'm sorry we couldn't get to you to the last minute, but
that's
definitely
quite all right.
appreciate you calling up, definitely, and definitely appreciate the wisdom. And
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Evening. Oh, I
you do the same.
Oh, and my bad. I got to call you Sugarfoot since Jay on the phone.
I know, my love of my life. Chocolate Drop is in here.
Right, chocolate drop is not here. So. For AJ and for Sean, definitely salute, appreciate it. You know, all the love, all the support, and if y'all happen to see a link for the show, please share that. You know, tell a friend to tell a friend. You know, from goons to guys, we welcome everyone. We only have one rule, and you already know how I get down. You know, it's not an option. You will be respectful or you just won't be on our show. All right? So y'all have a good one. We love y'all, and peace out.